Okay. Hi. Welcome to Challenges, Childcare Challenges and Dilemma in Daycare. And today we have a very special guest, Jenny. And Jenny is a teacher worldwide. If you retire now, a teacher assistant in New York. And go ahead, you can introduce yourself to our audience.
Yes, my name is Jennifer Heywood. I was a teacher assistant for 30 years.
Really?
I just finally retired last summer, so it's only been a year since I retired.
So when you have that first time experience, you still have that experience. I know you have the list of question we sent you, right?
Yeah, you was talking about the salary differential.
But what do you think about this?
It seems like that's going on in every area,
Mhm,
even with the sports.
mhm,
And I'm not sure where that came from. But I know that teachers have, like, 30 plus and stuff like that. So it all depends. Even with the teacher's assistants,
mhm,
the highest salary has a bachelor's degree. So it all depends on how many credits in college you have.
mhm.
So that's where variations in salary do come from. But I feel that if you are on equal levels with another person, you should get the equal salary. And we should bring that attention up to the legislature so that they can make changes, because the same thing, everybody's fighting for women's equal pay with, in the same sports, and where they have, accomplished more than the men's team have. So this is going on in all aspects of employment.
Right, it is going on. It's the same thing with us as a child care provider. And we fight for the same thing, the equal rights and education and more pay, better pay within it. So we have but we try to give credit to our governor and our commissioner. They did do a lot. They did go there and they did fight for us and they did like, listen, they deserve pay. So we get to see 11%, which the union, as a union, I'm part of the union, we fight, and then we got 11% increase this July, next July. Every July for the past the first 3 years, that's 33% we get. So then we got to go back again and after that implement. What we're trying to have is a permanent fix instead of have to be required going back every 3 or 4 years and say, you know what, okay, we need that. And
Right.
I think, like I said, equal pay amongst everyone. And we doing the same
Hmm.
job. They're doing it over here. They have it said, okay, since I work my chocolate from my home, then I don't deserve the same pay as someone in the center. And
Yes.
that happens, right?
Hmm.
All the centers and all the teachers I know in New York too was paid, right?
Hmm. Correct.
How can that stay open with family childcare? We stayed open. We opened the door why we want to be able to go to work. So doctors should go to work, the supermarket should go to the supermarket. The basic thing that you think you didn't appreciate, you learn to appreciate that. And now that the pandemic is over, we're like, okay, we don't matter anymore. They don't look at us as, okay, he was that. No, we know he was, because while the teachers can be like, all right, we have the computer here, we have to make sure they log on to Zoom with family childcare providers. We have to make sure that the already is done. We have to make sure that the work is turned in. We as teachers during that time. So why are we not? You saying that the fact that I'm home, that I choose to be with my kids, I don't deserve to with someone in the center. But if the state comes to another pandemic, then you expect us to open a door. So what would you say about the legislative perspective of those?
Yeah. See, that pandemic was, oh my God, those 3 years was crazy. I remember waking up. Some of the kids are still laying in their beds. The parents didn't organize it so they would think that they, actually in school and they actually working. And it was a big adjustment. Even when the kids came back from school, it was a big adjustment because they got used to getting up when they want, going to the bathroom when they want. And when they came to school, I had some kids who had that problem of just sitting still, like they still in the classroom.
Mhm.
They got used to just that mobility, that freedom that they had. and it was hard to really get. I think we just finally got it together the year I left,
Mhm.
and with the cooperation. And like you said, it was hard during that time, and it was difficult not only for the kids, but like you said, for the teachers, or even the parents. It was difficult for them too.
What strategy do you think we could use to close that gap between educators? That might be.
Yes, I believe that there's a triangle. I believe that the educators, the teachers, and the student has to work together in order for that child to succeed. You have to be on the same page. You
Mhm.
got to be cooperative. You know, just because they're home don't mean that they was out of school. They still in school. So you have to set that time aside. Make sure they up. I mean, the teachers had to be up and ready and on all the time, just like they had to be. I mean, I had to sit at this my desk right in my living room, organize everything, make sure I had a place to, do my work and to teach. And it was same thing we expected. Some parents did, some parents didn't. And I understand that, you have to work and you leave and the kids are not up and not ready, but it's something that you have to do even if they was to go to school. You
Mhm.
still have to have them up and ready to go to school. Those aspects have to work together. It has to be a cooperation between all three individuals, and this way the child would succeed in school.
So this current conversation and a lot of stories about childhood and work and parents, right? And some of the politicians recognize it, and some places being denied childcare. How do you think about when they recognize it? Like I said earlier, they recognize that we as educators are sick, right? And the pandemic.
Yes.
But now that the pandemic is gone, we face that challenges. Okay, well, I don't think you did as well before. I don't think, and now they think it where I know a lot of people just retired a year ago. A lot more demand, a lot more going back, a lot more stuff that they demand now from teachers. What do you say about those new laws that we put into place to implement the educators?
Right. Now that's another thing. They do demand a lot from the educators.
Mhm,
Like I said, I've been teaching for 30 years.
mhm,
And the paperwork that teachers have to do is crazy. And when they can use that time in educating the kids, I feel is more important than all the paperwork, doing this and doing that. It's just crazy. I always helping the teacher. I was with grading, putting things in place, filling out this record, that record. And they need to there it should be a better system. Like I was telling you before, I felt that the old way was better. I felt that they taught them more of life skills as well as academic skills, and the new ways of doing math. And even the parents don't even understand some of the ways of doing math that they are implementing these days. And that's another thing. You need to make sure these parents understand so they can better assist their children with their homework. They shouldn't have to try to figure it out on their own. There should be some kind of resource there for the parents to be better to help their children with their education. Those things need to be in place. Then also, if there's a way of giving the children who are having difficulty some kind of assistance, wherein the parents don't have to pay for it, but something, but still, that's a lot on the parents too.
mhm.
With the after school and tutoring can be very expensive, and the parents are trying to make ends meet as it is. So therefore, some kind of assistance along that scale too need to be implemented.
And how would you suggest they start implementing that? What would your suggestion be?
I would like for whatever after school programs. I would like for those people to be able to help the children with their homework. Because sometimes I have kids who go to that school center, and their homework still is not done. And they supposed to have alleviated time to, they have the snack, then they supposed to help them with their homework, then they do some kind of activity. But some of these kids are not getting their homework done because I don't know if there's enough people in the classroom to assist to help each individual. And some of those kids are they by grade. So therefore some of the homework is very similar.
Right.
So if they are not educated and the same thing like the parents to help those kids to achieve their school or help them to understand it, because sometimes the way the teacher teach and the way another student can help another student is kind of different. They see it through different eyes and they better to understand it. So having that those people being educated with the what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, it's right on the tip of my tongue. But being better educated with the necessary knowledge of what the children are learning would help in that too.
So you're saying that you think that the legislator could help. How would you think that the legislator could help solve these problems?
That's the key. And I was contemplating how they would be able to help those people, because sometimes like with my school is people from the outside coming in. The only time we give assistance to the kids is when it's time for testing. That's when we give assistance to the kids for reading and for math. We have classes for those kids who are like borderline or not up to level. So we have the kids come in for testing for, I guess it's a month and a half or 2 months before the testing to make sure they achieve their goals. So when taking the test, they can better understand it, and that works. That works. The kids, and making sure the parents make sure the kids are there for those after school programs that legislature is and the schools are implementing, so that these kids can pass the test. And some of these tests are not according to the area that we live in. Some of the questions don't pertain to us, they pertain to other, and the kids are not familiarized with those things. And those questions should be for the area of where the kid is living rather than something else that they would not understand.
Okay, so you would like to see more funding, right? More funding to
Yes.
where like many schools during the pandemic lost funding during the pandemic, and they're not fully recovered. Because I know, for example, there's a school that a school over here that they had a special need program, and they would do all the special need programs. So try to they would do the special need program, the funding for that part of the school, and now the state is, I think they're going to be putting them in public schools. What do you say about stuff like that, where schools have to lose funding and they may not recover? Some schools may not
Hmm.
recover even after the pandemic. But what do you think? And are we in a better place now than we were before pandemic?
Yes. Now that we have come, I found the change in the kids. Now, that first year was very difficult. The second year was a little bit too, because some of the kids I had was in fifth grade, and those kids was getting ready to go from my school to junior high.
Hmm.
So we only had them for that last year. And then the next grade I went into, I think it was the third, and I moved up with the class, and I saw a better stability. I saw parents' involvement. I saw kids actually participating and getting it. We also had like robotics. We had different programs, the STEM program, which teach them about science and math, and that's a very good, because not all kids they all have different kind of talents, and we was tapping into those, and the kids was exploring things that they never explored before. They was building like robots and electronics, seeing if they can get this cars to move and stuff, and seeing how those cars work and how the gadgets work. And I thought that was very stimulating the children. And the children, they need some more challenges. And some of the kids can tap into their kind of interests, which I think is very, very good.
Okay. So when it comes on to teacher staff, right? Shortage of teachers, because I know that's a big issue that's going on statewide. That's saying teachers, they short teachers, and the teacher's assistant, they have to take up more workload, and the teachers are taking up more workload than they should. And the underpay for teachers, what are the challenges that you face when you was in this school system as far as overload, overwork, and burnt out?
Yeah, they do. Some teachers is a lot, and some teachers after the pandemic and everything, they retired because things changed. So they wasn't up to that task that was at hand, and I can understand that. And the new teachers coming in, we also have like a lot of new teachers, which was good, and also helping mentor. They would have other teachers mentor the new teachers
Mhm.
to help them to adapt and to understand what is required of him. And I thought that was good. I thought that mentoring really, really helped them to get adjusted with the new programs that they was implementing. And that helped out a lot. But the paperwork load is always going to be a lot, and it's just I don't know how to stop that all this paperwork that they continue to ask for from the teachers. And I know we have this thing about no child left behind, so make sure your children is up to standard, so they can get the funding that they need.
Think about that one, the No Child Left Behind, where they
Yeah.
get ahead.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it because if a child is struggling, I don't think they should go on to the next grade. I think they should really stay where they are and conquer that level before you can go on to the next. Because they're gonna constantly have struggles, and
Right.
that's going to be hard on them. And then you get this child with a low self-esteem. Oh, I can't get it. And kids are going through things like that, and that makes it much harder for them to open up and to learn.
Okay. And what would you say to the legislators about if they have to change that law for the No Child Left Behind? What would your recommendation be? What would you recommend them to do?
Oh, that's kind of hard. I never got to that far in my thinking because
Based on all the experience you have, the struggle you see the kids have within their teaching career, the setback that they have, and when they came with this law that No Child Left Behind, could they just push the kids ahead, whether they're ready or
we
not?
also, yeah, we also in the classroom we would make groups of children, and we would be assigned to a certain group that help that group in whatever area they was having difficulty. And I thought that was good, especially when you have enough people in the classroom. Now, if it's just one teacher in the classroom, it's very hard for her to do. But we have implemented groups so students could help students. But when you have another educator there, it makes it much easier for you to split up the groups and know that the educator is in the midst of the group, keeping it organized and keeping them on track and helping them in any area that they have in difficulty. But see, that's another thing. You don't always have that many people in a classroom to
And
do all that. And when it's one teacher, it's very hard for her to do. And
so,
that's why we're always fighting for the classroom size to be decreased, so we can get to all the children and achieve more.
right. They're saying there will be more funding, the value is low. They're saying if we have more funding to hire more teachers for each classroom, that would be better. So it would
Yeah.
help the students. So if you have to speak with them, you say, in order to close this gap of education gap, especially for kids, put more teachers in the class for them, assigned teachers to special students that are in the special needs. For example, my son, I went to a school here in Connecticut. It's a charter school. My son went
Hmm.
to a school here, and his reading level is at a sixth grade reading level. He's only 7 years old. He reads very well. So I had got this letter that, okay, your son needs reading assistant. That's a reading assistant. That can't be. I said he was going to a Catholic school and he didn't see anybody that looked like him. He was the only one that looked like him. So I said, let me take him out of the class and put him in this setting where he sees diversity of kids. But I got to
Right.
put him in the charter school vendor. I'm like, reading never makes any sense. So they said he tested him before he goes in. Remember, he was the Catholic school reading at a sixth grade level. He goes to this charter school, thinking that he's behind. I said, what was it he did then? And that's the thing I noticed about public funded schools versus private funded schools. With
Right.
public school don't push your kids as much as the private funded school. Right? Because we pay
Right.
will push your kids. So what they did is that, well, okay, his reading level is too high, so we have to bring him back down to the class sizes. And what do you feel about teachers that instead of pushing the kids to the best of their ability, they rather to hold them back? And again, not only for my son as an example, I see teachers that do that to kids, but you have to follow again the law, and
See?
they have to follow the law. Like we can't. I have my daughter that kids are high achievers when it comes down to grades, and I have 8 children, 9 and 8 and 9. So when my kids are going to school, before they graduate high school and so on, the one that's graduated high school, they used to tell them, you know what? I'm like, we got to get 99. They have to change it to 100. We can't let them know that we're perfect. We can't let them know that we can't do that. We have to follow this law. This is what the law said. We can't figure excel. We can't push them ahead. So these are the stuff that you said you have kids in here that are talented. I'm going back to what you said when it comes down to the STEM program, right? So we need to see changes, and those are the law that we need to implement. If a child
Right.
on grade level, if a child is great at what they do, challenge them, right?
Right.
Challenge them more, push them more. And I think that if other kids see that, okay, you know what, this kid is going a certain way, then they will want to do it. Like, I'm from Jamaica, and in Jamaica, we strive to go to the best school because no one want to go in the lower grade school. So education is
Hmm.
a big thing back home. Test taking,
Right.
want to study, you want to get your big test, and when you do good, when you see your face in the paper for the best school that you go to, even though your parents have to pay for it, but it's just that excitement, that feeling of knowing that as a child you did so great and make your parents proud. And if you're good in Jamaica, they push you. They want to see you
Right.
excel more. My son, because he's such a high reader, he said, no, we got to bring him down. He's reading above class level. And I
That's not fair.
I have to pull him out. I pull him out. I said, like,
Yes, I understand. I would, because you know what? They should be able to challenge those kids who are on a higher level. I have my godson. He was very well. He still is very good in his schoolwork, and then when he's finished, he would just help some of the other students. But still, there should be another thing for those kids who are something in place for them to be challenged to be better. You shouldn't have to bring them down. You should want them to succeed. You shouldn't have to keep them at 99 when they actually 100. It's not fair. It's just not fair. And the reason why they keep that so they can keep getting their funding.
and that's what I'm like, so how could we speak to our legislators, our senators to say, okay, this is what we want. This is what we like to see. And what law could you pass? And I know this is not why we advocate, right? We advocate, we show up, we testify, we do testimony, we let them know, listen, these are the things that I can speak to my son to have. And but what those parents
Yes.
are afraid to speak up. Those parents don't have the say so to speak up. Those single parents are like, you know what? Okay, they're gonna have it in the morning. I have to be at work. how do we as
Yeah.
educators, make the changes for those
Mhm.
well, like, how would you do that?
See, that's that we have to get everybody together. Everybody has to be on the same page because there's strength in numbers. And that's the whole key. Getting it at a time when everybody can be there, something more convenient, finding out, okay, when can we meet? What time is agreeable for all? We need to get this in place. We need to sign this into law so these kids who are achieving can keep on achieving, and those kids who need help can get the help that they need. But we shouldn't hold anybody back.
And that's what we need to focus on.
Yes.
Getting more funding, getting more
Because, yeah, because parents has the key. Parents don't realize that they have the power to change things as far as the school system. Like at my school, we didn't have like a PTA because we didn't have no too many T's and P's. So therefore, we had the PA and not the PTA where the teachers and the parents supposed to be working together. So therefore, it's very hard when you just have one part of the equation. You need the other part of the equation in order for this to succeed.
So then we have to figure out a way where we could get this message across to our senators, to our legislators, and let them know that, listen, we need to fund it. And we ought to say the parents should be involved, but if the school don't have enough funding, right?
True.
And the school
You
don't have
can't get the parents in right.
what it comes down to funding,
Hmm.
permanent funding, not temporary. And I feel like what
That,
in this
yes,
band-aid over these cuts that we have, and then they lift the band-aid and how we get it to heal. We need a permanent fix. We need a permanent solution, not going back every year. Our students, our children should not have to suffer, right?
yes,
You want more PTA, you want more involvement. Create something for parent, like create, but then start with funding. If the school has not funding, they can't put the event on.
that's right. And that's where we get the power. Just like any petition, you gotta get so many people to sign in order to get it even seen by somebody in the government. So these are the things that we need so that our Congress can take it and have something to stand on. Like all these people want the same thing, and
Right.
we should want the same thing because it's our children. It shouldn't change. We should expect the best, and our children should get the best. Period.
But period. Period.
No, I mean, it's just something that we need to do, and we need everybody on board to do it. Teachers signing, parents signing, yes, even the community, because it betters the community when the school is better.
Exactly. So how do you think we can start that conversation? What do you suggest? How we start that? How we start that
That
conversation?
we have to start that at some kind of meeting with the parents and the teachers together, and also getting their opinions and saying, okay, we have to work together on this. Nobody can stand alone. You know, we can't do it. Not just the parents do it, but the teachers too, because the teachers and the parents should want the same for the students.
Right. Right.
They should want the same. You should want the students to succeed. You should want them to have the best that they can have. You want, the quality in school. Yes. All those things should be in place for our children. And it's up to us to fight for it. And we have to fight together.
We have to, and that's a teamwork thing. That's what
It
it
is.
is. It's a teamwork thing. It takes a village, and we got to create a village and this village has to break that guardrail down, the physical guardrail that's there. We have to
Yes.
take it down. Us, we are the village. We educators and parents are the village. The physical
Yes.
guardrail is our legislators and the Congress and the Senate and all that stuff. So that's what we as educators and parents have to do. We have to come. We have to come together. We have to stand down. We have to demand more funding and permanent fixes. Permanent, that's
Right.
right. We tired of band-aid covering the cup. We tired of
Yeah.
and that's what
No, we want that to be completely healed. We want it to
we
be
have to
completely restored. We want it to be fixed permanently, just like you've been saying. Like you said, it takes a village. It really does. And we just all have to come together, and there has to be a way of doing this, not being no longer in the school system, but there has to be a better way.
And that's what my podcast is about. I'm hoping that this could get to parents and everyone alike. So we all could come together, and that's why I said the dilemma and the challenges that we face, right? So I'm hoping that we could come together as parents that listen to this, and I don't care what state you're in, what part, we could do this and come together as a team and break this and fix this, break the cycle. It's been
Yes.
a cycle. Like you said, the old way, but since they're coming back to the new way that they create now, it's been a generation. It's time for us to stop this generation cycle.
Right.
We don't want to pass on to the other generation. We don't
No,
want
you don't. You want the next generation to be better.
exactly, and
That's the whole thing. I wanted my children to be better than me. I
exactly,
want them to have a better job, a better education, and better tools in which they can succeed. And that's what a parent should want. And this way, the parent's going to have to figure out and take time to make it to some of these meetings in order to succeed. You can't complain the system if you're not doing your part either.
hmm
You have to do your part. You have to be at the meetings. You have to know what's going on in the school and help them to fix it.
right, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put where we're gonna try to get where we can get as much parents and as much people as possible to come out and show up and knock at your governor's house and knock at your mayor's house and be there at their house, show up. Like I believe in making these governors and these mayors disrupt your way of living.
Yes.
Do it in Connecticut when we protest, when we demonstrate or march or whatever you want to call it in Connecticut. We go to the governor's mansion.
Mm-hmm.
We're sleeping. We go in there. And I think that's what all across the state, we go to the Capitol.
Yeah, make them notice. Yeah.
So we let them know that, listen, we're here and we want changes. We testify. We share our stories. Okay, and that's what I like to see a bunch of parents and educators we come together right across the board, across the state.
Right.
At the end of the day, we're fighting for the same thing. Whether you're in New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Jersey, we're in California, we're in whatever, any part of the 50 states, we're all for the same thing and the same cause and
Yes.
for education.
Yes.
And I'm praying that there's a day that my podcast could bring that barrier breaker between that,
Yes.
to bring that barrier and to bring all of us together as one, to bring all of us and get us better, have a better system in place. And that's my dream for this podcast. To say that we, as everyone that comes here, and everyone together, and we say, okay, we did it as a team.
Yes.
And that's what I like. And I thank you.
I thank you for this podcast because I want changes. I just want changes. I want the children to succeed. And like you said, we're going to have to make the time to do it, because we rally together when we want our raises and everything else. So let's rally together so the children can get the education that they need.
Right. And that's what we got to do. Get the education, more funding, and all of this depends. We need more money, a lot more money to get this in place.
Yeah.
We
got money going into so many other things, traffic, this and that. It's getting ridiculous sometimes.
Yeah, money going into war, unnecessary war, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Our kids, unnecessary money going to unnecessary. How many undocumented immigrants are coming out crossing the border? Money going into sending hotels to them. Okay, what about our kids? The one that's here.
I know.
And that's what we
and I saw them. The immigrants come into the school in an empty book bag. I said, well, what you want us to do? Why don't you where's the tools for the kids to learn? Why don't you buy them some notebooks and pencils and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
It's just crazy. These are the things that, yeah. So what we do, we put together, get some notebooks, to make sure the kids have their tools that they need in order to learn.
Exactly, and that's what we're going to demand more funding. We need more funding. We need better things. I'm not saying everyone should. I'm an immigrant myself. I'm from Jamaica, but I think my grandmother fought for me the correct way, I came to where my grandmother did it. But not everybody had that opportunity, which I understand, to have some
Right.
do the paperwork for them. But I'm not talking about the kids. I'm talking about the one that comes there without kids and the parent that comes there. Because I came here when I was 11 years old. I'm talking about
Hmm.
the one that comes there that I know they said in New York, the hotel, they have like a huge thing where when they come, they have to put them in New York, put them in hotel, and they're willing to pay people to house these people, to house them for them, and that's more money out the taxpayer pocket, right?
Yes, and that's money taken away from where it needs to go. Correct.
Exactly. Money taken away from education. So, okay, then, oh, yeah, I understand they come. I understand that there need to be a restriction. There need to be self-implement. There need to be America first, America children first, put America first. And it's time for us to have America first.
Yes.
For children first. It's time for us to say,
Yes.
for children first.
That's our future.
And
These are the future teachers, doctors, pharmacists. These are our future. And
and,
they need the tools in order to be the future
and so
for us.
and I gotta invite you back because we gotta talk about even the prison system that they start implementing. They do more prison than they do school. Okay.
Hello. Yes. Hello.
They-
I mean, yes, it's those. That's another good topic to go on.
yeah, and then that's what we're gonna have to talk about that topic about all this prison system that they put in. I know they had us thing for scared straight, but that's another topic. We're
I
gonna
mean, when I was, we used to have the summer youth. The kids had jobs for the summer. Now they don't. They don't have it anymore. So I had thousands of kids coming in, working papers, making sure they and that experience of being in the office and stuff. And oh, I like this. I would like to do this. That stuff is important.
Mhm.
They don't even have the summer youth. It's hard for kids to, and so where they are on the streets,
And you know where that end up with them on the street. They fall into the wrong.
the wrong hands doing the wrong thing.
And then that's the topic that I love to excite you back on. And I'm trying to get the New York governor on. I'm going to send him an email and then hopefully I could invite him on and maybe we could invite you on. And I'll talk to other teachers from New York so we could share with him so he can get to hear us. Because it's not,
Yeah,
they don't know firsthand what we're going through. They're so busy with their schedule, they get to hear a bunch of people coming at them at a time. And they're
right.
not focused. And we have this small setting with intensive where they hear you speak with passion. They hear this person say, okay, this is what we like. So they can really think and then really take back to the office and think about it. It's just like the classroom side. The bigger the classroom is, the less attention we give to the children. The smaller it is, the better you focus on. Your focus is more on the children to give them more attention, you to make sure that their work is done more. So it's the same thing with them in their schedule. And then
Yes,
they read and they hear all this stuff. They want to make an impact, and that impact I like to make them that they share the story and like to invite them. So again, I thank you for your time, Jen,
thank you.
and I thank you, and I hope to invite you back and we can have this more discussion about
Okay,
the pipeline
okay.
that they have going on for you. And we having black son and black daughters nowadays, it's just scary. Scary.
Yeah, I hear you. It is. It is.
This is scary for
But we need to change. We need to change.
and that's what we're going to talk about. Until then, you have a wonderful night, and thank you for
You too. Thank you so much for inviting me.